Hi guys, welcome back. Today I have a really special guest, Yvonne Reuter. I hope I pronounced it correctly.
Perfect.
although my great grandmother was from Germany, I don't speak any German at all. And Yvonne is a nutrition scientist from Germany. We met a while ago in Switzerland, and today she was super kind to join us to introduce us to metabolic therapies on the treatment, especially on the treatment of patients who have type 1 diabetes. And I'm super excited to introduce her. She's also a passionate traveler and health advocate. So thank you, Yvonne, for being here today.
Nice for having me. Thank you.
So, Yvonne, could you share with us a little bit about yourself and how did you get to this field?
Well, I have been diagnosed with diabetes when I was 19. From the beginning on, it was a very difficult time for me. I was young. I was free, I thought, and I wanted to go free. Well, it was really hard for the situation per se, but also over all the years, I had really bad and too high blood sugar values. Also, the HbA1c was always too high, and I saw a lot of specialists. I stayed in a lot of different hospitals specialized in type 1. They always started with the same recommendations, and it's going to be easy. And then after a few weeks or after a few appointments, they said, okay, it's not easy. Just take it as it is and accept it. And that was my life for the last 33 years, or maybe the last 29 years, because 4 years ago, I stumbled for a coincidence topic of the keto diet.
How was your diet before the keto diet?
Well, I started with that was recommended, and at this time it was kind of new and popular and great scientist achievement to eat what you want and adjust your insulin. And or live like you do before, and adjust the insulin.
So you had to count carbs?
Yes, you always had to do that. I had to count carbs, of course. And but I was recommended to eat as much carbs as I want, and don't buy the special diabetic food. Just do what you want. Eat with the family parties. Eat the cake. Just adjust the insulin doses. And that went horrible. And I had always too high blood sugar values. And also, if you have high blood sugar values, you have to inject more insulin, so it goes down.
It goes down, and you have
highs and lows. And it's kind of a roller coaster all the time. And then I was afraid of carbs. I developed a fear of carbs, and I reduced them time after time, and I started eating less and less and less, not only carbs but also calories, because I was gaining weight with having nearly no food. I would say I was on low carb for about 15 years by a special try to go low carb against the recommendations of the medicals. They also always said eat more carbs, then you will get better. And I said I had the load of carbs and it was not better. But surprisingly, with low carb, it wouldn't have better too. It was the same chaos, the same roller coaster. But I developed already the fear of carbs. So I was low carb for 15 years. When I stumbled into a person who said, try keto.
Try keto. Was this person in the medical field or not?
She is a medical, but I didn't know that when we talked. She was recommending me keto for losing weight, because I was complaining about gaining weight every year a little bit, not too much, but not nice. I'm a fashion addict, so I had to spend a lot of money for new clothes every year. I told her, okay, I would try this, but I'm diabetic and I don't want to go in a dangerous state. And she was telling me it's not dangerous. Just make an internet research about Dominic D'Agostino. Was the first name I heard. And he's working and doing research with the type 1. Yeah, I start doing research about ketogenic and type 1. There nearly no information at that point in the internet, and I bought a book. It's always also only in English. And at the next point of no return, I had a lot of them, and I said, okay, now I tried. I need to try anything new. It can't go on like this. And I started keto, and it changed my life from one day to the next. It was
wow, that's amazing.
It's not a fairy tale. It's reality.
And we finally have some studies coming out on keto for type 1 diabetes patients, but many people still don't understand very well what is this keto diet. And they really do think that it's very dangerous for type 1 diabetes. So can you explain a little bit what's the keto diet and how did you go about that? How was the process of insulin adjustment? Was it stressful? Was it hard, or was it okay? Can you share a little bit of your experience?
Yeah, I was afraid too, and I was thinking it's dangerous because there is the confusion about the two names ketosis, which you achieve with the nutrition, and the ketoacidosis. Acidosis, what is a dangerous health state you achieve with a lack of insulin, and it has nothing to do with each other, but it's a confusion about the names. And ketoacidosis, it's always a big word in all education you get about diabetes, type 1 diabetes. And so you have to avoid that. That's the main headline of every education you get. And I read a lot, and I said, okay, I'm experienced in dealing with my diabetes. I have measure devices, and I just try it. It can't be so worse because I had the worst time for 33 years before, or 29 years before. So I can just say it's totally easy, and it's totally less dangerous than the mixed and high carb food, because with the less carb you eat, the less insulin you have to inject. And the insulin is the thing what is dangerous. And if you have little insulin on board, we say that, you are not in a danger of hypoglycemia, not such a big. You can have that as before too, but it's not as dangerous as before. And so it's much safer and much easier to be in a healthy level of blood glucose than before. The insulin adjustment was, for me, it was kind of easy because I was in hospital for a few weeks to change the injection with pens with two types of insulin. What is the usual treatment? I changed to a pump, what I have here on my arm, the patch pump, and therefore I had to make a basal rate test. And this is essential for starting keto diet. If you know your basal rate, what is the rate you need, the insulin you need without any food, it's just to maintain the body function, you need insulin too. And when this rate is fixed or perfect or adjusted, then you are free. You can choose whatever you want, and then you can start the keto diet. Not before. It's not recommendable to do it without a basal rate test. You need to know that.
Oh, that's a great tip. Yvonne, I know you love sports as well.
Yeah.
And I was just reading a study on the safety of sports for type 1 diabetics who go on keto diet. But the study was very nice because these guys, they were going for a bike ride fasting. And people were very concerned. Oh my God, what's going to happen with their insulin levels and blood sugar levels? Will they go on a hypoglycemia? And they were just fine. So what's your experience with sports?
Yeah, pretty the same. There is also the study of Ian Lake, the 0500, and it's telling the same. And that's exactly my experience. The story of doing sports with a carb and insulin management, you have to calculate before. You say, okay, in half an hour, I'm going for a 1 hour running tour. And then you have to reduce your insulin, and you have to measure the blood sugar. And then if it's starting to rain and you want to shift your hour of running, the blood sugar is running high. So you have to correct with insulin. You have to stop that. And then when you then go for the 1 hour walk or jogging running round, the blood sugar will drop and you will have a hypoglycemia. So it's always a thinking, calculating, trying out, having the best is to do the same sports at the same with the same amount at the same daytime to get a routine about that. And with a ketogenic diet, or it's a kind of the fasting mimicking diet, or without having food in the morning or whatever you choose, how you want to feed yourself. You just have to make the decision. Okay, I go now. I go for 1 hour. I go for 2 hours. I skip it today. I do nothing. I do the smooth yoga, or I do whatever. You can choose that because nothing happens because there is little insulin on board, or nearly no, whatever in time of the day you are, and you can just do what you want, and it's just easy. It's just fabulous.
Yes, you just told me, and many other people told me how free they feel right now
Yeah.
going keto. And what do you usually do? Do you eat when you are hungry, or do you have scheduled meals, or you go for a walk on fasting, or what do you usually do on your day?
My usual day, I'm not super strict in having this the daily routine every day, but the usual day is I skip breakfast and I eat at around kind of 12, something like that, and I do most of the sports in the morning. So directly after getting up, having a coffee or whatever, and then I go for Nordic walking or doing yoga or what is the day is telling me.
Usually fasting.
Yeah, usually fasting. Yeah, and when I come back and in the mid lunchtime, I have the first food intake. So to
Your
say,
first meal. Okay.
yeah.
And how big were your insulin reductions?
It was. I now need, I would say, a little bit more than half of the amount than I used to have before. Also, the basal rate without food, even that had changed. I need less basal rate.
Much less. That's great, because the higher you put insulin on your body, the higher the risks as well. And
yeah, exactly.
do you have any tips for type 1 diabetic people who would like to start a ketogenic diet? Who do they have to look for? Where can they get educated about that?
The only tip I can give is go for it. Do it. It's so easy. It's manageable, much better than before. And I know how hard it can be to manage type 1. You have to find your routine. You have to find your tricks of the day and of the situation. And it's such a hard work to find a solution. So it's not so easy to give that up. To have a new idea from somebody who talks to you. Find somebody who have the journey made before. You can give spontaneous advice. I'm in, I don't know, in this situation, what would you do, or what have you done? Can you give me just your experience? I'm absolutely sure that everybody who made the step over the bridge would say, it's so easy. Why didn't I do that before? And there is always the sentence why there is not one medical professional who told me about that.
Yes. And did you have any trouble with your family and family meals? Was everybody on board, or
the trouble, I have to say, I had that before already, because I have two sons, and one of them, my son, has celiac disease. And I, with my diabetes, then the other boy was a little bit picky with food in general, and so we had one main meal a day, and we made that like a buffet. I had different pots on the oven, and everybody can take what is good for him and what he or she can eat and want to eat, and so. We have a daily buffet. Now they are moved out, but that was our daily issue, and that was the easiest way to deal with that.
Okay, so you cook a little more, so it satisfies everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's great. Do you have any other tips for our listeners?
Just spread the word. If you are successful with keto or happy with keto, tell everybody, because it's really important that there is another standard of care, not only for diabetes type 1 or type 2, for a lot of health issues. The standard of care must shift, really. And so that's my mission, to spread the word and to help people, and to give them hope for a healthy and happy life. It's it's big words, but they are true.
Thank you, Yvonne. And how can people reach you? What's the easiest way if a diabetic is seeking for help and wants somebody like you in their lives?
The easiest way actually is to find me on LinkedIn, Yvonne Reuter. I have a page there, and it's the easiest way. And there's also a great course of Ian Lake on type1keto.com, It's just a really great cause, and everybody can follow the explanations. It's the same structure I work with. Find a good person who understands you and want to help you.
Perfect, Yvonne. I'll make sure to link to your page and Ian's as well. And thank you so much. It was really, really great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.